Hi, I'm Candice Liberty, and I'm back again today with my show Pieces of Color. And we're trying to get through my art gallery and get explanations from me of all my paintings. I kind of been skipping here and there, but we're going to jump back to 2015, work our way up, and then go back from there. This is a painting I did called He Loves Me. I did this in 2015, and I did this painting because the guy I was dating at the time, I believe really did love me, and I felt like he loved me. But in this relationship, there was a lot of turmoil. So I'm going to show you a couple of the other paintings today that go along with this relationship. We'll get to three of them. There's seven completely that go to this particular, 7.5, because there's a transition. Anyways, we'll get to that painting. So yeah, I did this painting because I felt really loved, and it's a field of flowers, and here's a sunset, and here's a little couple in the sunset with little butterflies. Uh, this is a gentleman holding his girlfriend, and she's got little high heels on right here. Um, but yeah, that was pretty much it. That was just me feeling loved, and it was really nice, other than what else went on in the relationship. So we're gonna get to one of the other paintings. So this painting here, sorry I stuttered. This painting here is called The Stained Glass Lovers, and it's about a fragile relationship. I just went over the very first painting that I created in that relationship because I did feel really loved. And you can see in the heart here, there's happiness, but there's also snow in the heart. So, and here in the head, there's snow too. But you see their eyes are connected here with the light, and there's a heartbeat here in his mind. He's in love with me, I'm in love with him. But there's a lot of problems in our relationship. Here's the tears coming out of my eyes. Here's the tears coming out of his eyes. I don't know, I'm sad all of a sudden. Anyways, the butterflies, these are the butterflies you get when you fall in love. Some of them are yellow, some of them are blue. The fire and the ice is the hot and the cold. Well, I haven't really talked about this painting before. It's making me sad. It's the hot and the cold. Hold on, let me compose myself. It's the hot and the cold of the relationship. I love this person dearly, but he had a really bad drinking problem. And I'm not gonna lie, I also, at that time, would drink a lot too. Here's me, here's my heartbeat being swallowed down my throat. So it was a really hard time. It was a very fragile relationship. We loved each other dearly, but it was a very abusive relationship. Because when he would get drunk, he was not a nice drunk. He would hit me. He'd hit other women that I'd seen him hit with his fist. He said, "Oh, I slapped her." "No, you didn't slap her. You hit her in the face. I saw you." So he was mean. He would hit women. I was one of them. He would just get drunk and just turn into a mean person. But when he was sober, I knew that he loved me. It was kind of difficult. So that's kind of the explanation of that painting. And there's some more that go in the middle. We're gonna kind of jump past those and get to the end. So this painting here is called The Tiny Dancer. I did this painting at the same time I was in that relationship. What should I call this guy? I don't know. I don't know what to call him. Anyways, when I was in the relationship with the gentleman that I was just talking about in those last two paintings, I did this at that same time, and I love dancing. At the time that I did this painting, I was feeling I kind of had given up and stopped dancing for a while because I was feeling more like a entertainer, more like a puppet that people like to play with or have just entertained them constantly, other than I would go out to dance and just have fun and enjoy myself. I was always alone. I'd always go out alone. I would always see groups of people and people was having friends and sitting and chatting around. I was out dancing, socializing the best that I could, the best that I knew how to do, which was dancing by myself. But at that time, I started to feel kind of like a puppet. People would, when I would stop dancing, they would ask me, "Candy, get up, dance. We want to see you dance." And so my love for music, you can see the music coming out of her heart right here. The love for music and the love for dancing was kind of being a little bit jaded here because I didn't want to feel like a puppet anymore. I wanted to have friends too, and I don't think I ever knew how. So I kind of quit dancing and tried to focus on my relationships with people a little bit more. My relationship with the guy that I was in, the struggling relationship with alcoholism from both of us that I was in. Funny story. One time, I'm going to go ahead and tell you the story. One time, we'd both been drinking at the bar. I was in a cute little dress, not this one, a different one. We were both drunk, and I hate to admit it, but I did drive home. On the way home, we were arguing, and he was calling me a whore. So I slowed down the vehicle and I tried to hit him a couple times. Unbeknownst to me, there was some cops right behind us, and I was literally like 10 feet away from my house when I get pulled over. And the officer asked me if I'd been drinking. Of course I haven't been drinking, officer. What? I was driving. Why would I be drinking? They actually put me up against the car, his cop car, like this, and go address my boyfriend at the time that was in the passenger seat. And he also said, "No, officer, she wasn't drinking. It smells like alcohol because I've been drinking." So he covered for me too. And the cops asked me where I lived, and I literally pointed like right there. Oh wait, first they asked me, do you know why we pulled you over? And I said, "Yes, officer, because I was driving erratically." And they said, "And why were you driving erratically?" I was like, "Well, because he kept calling me a whore, and well, officer, I'm not," so I slowed down and I tried to hit him. And I knew the officer, if I had hit him, would arrest me for battery and take me to jail. So he says, "Well, did you hit him?" I said, "No, officer, I missed." And then that's when he asked where I lived, and I pointed down the hill. I was like, "I live there, officer." And they let me go. And then, well, after they let me go, they let us both go. And after they let us both go, he accused me of calling the cops. He was so drunk. He said, "You called the cops on me." And I was like, "Dude, why would I call the cops and ask them to pull me over while I'm driving?" Anyways, it was a pretty funny story. I know I shouldn't have admitted it, but hey, I mean, that was a long time ago. I don't drink like that anymore, thank God. It was just in that time of that relationship with that really bad alcoholic, we would both just drink way too much. So anyways, we started off with this story, got kind of smooshed into this other story, but we're going to get back on point with this next painting. So this painting here is called The Rocket Man, and it's to do with the same guy, the same relationship. I'm still struggling because as the first two paintings you saw, we did love each other, which it's hard to break away from somebody that you actually love, even though you know the relationship's not good for you. So this is the Rocket Man. This is him kind of as outer space, and this is me in the rocket. I am the rocket, and I am doing everything in my power to get as far away from this guy as I can, but I just couldn't seem to do it. Um, so I kind of did this painting of me. This is me kind of trying to escape in my rocket. And yeah, that's, I don't know what else to say about that. Yeah, that's just another painting. We're still in that relationship. That relationship went on for about 4 or 5 years, so that's why the many paintings that go with the relationship. And yeah, the Rocket Man, that's my struggle to try to get away. I was still in that relationship in this painting, of course. And then we've got a couple more paintings, and I finally do get out of that relationship, but yeah, we'll get to that eventually. So this is a Medusa painting. I did this painting in that particular relationship because I felt trapped. I didn't know how to get out of the relationship. He was living with me at my house at the time. And this is me feeling ugly. This is me feeling ugly and trapped in a situation that I don't want to be in and I don't know how to get out of. So here's the Black Widow, which is my protector. As I told you in some one of my past stories, the Black Widows, they rise up and they kill the butterflies that you get when you're falling in love with somebody. But this Black Widow has the butterfly in its web, but instead of killing the butterfly, it crawls into my mouth as I'm screaming for help. Like, help me get out of this situation, somebody. And of course, the only person that can help you is you. When you're in a situation like that, you're the only person that can get you out of it. The cops had been called on him a couple times, not by me. One time the neighbors had called the cops and he'd hit me in the face and my lip was bleeding. And the cops came in and they arrested him. I didn't ask them to arrest him. I didn't call them. They came in, saw that I was bleeding, took it upon themselves to arrest him and tell me that I could do better. And I knew that I could. But I just didn't know where. I just didn't know how. And still don't know where or how. But anyways, this is me feeling ugly and trapped in a situation that I just did not know how to get out of. Being as he lived with me. And I didn't want to put him out on the streets. Or I still loved him. I cared for him deeply. And so the story went on. We were still together. Same relationship, of course. This is kind of a self-painting, a self-portrait of me. That's a portrait of him. These are our 2 cats. This is right here. It's kind of like a Jack-in-the-Box painting. I don't know why I don't really remember why I painted Jack in the Box, but this little bit right here is a amount of sadness I was feeling. And you can see it's consuming this little bit of happiness. And the Black Widows are finally starting to rise up above my levitated box. Just say I have a levitated box, literally. Oh, not levitated that high because I'm short. Anyways, so here's my shadow, and out from my shadow are coming the Black Widows, and they're coming in full force now. You see here they're starting to attack the butterflies. This is a room inside my castle. We get to another painting where I have this huge castle. We'll get to it. You'll see it one of these days. So this is a room in my ice castle. 3 blind mice. I don't know why I added those, just for fun. This is his shadow. There's his heart right here. He's popping up out of his heart. And he looks happy and nice, but you can see his shadow is twisted and dripping. He had a lot of, I don't know how to say it, PS something. You get it from being in the military. Post-traumatic stress syndrome. Yeah, he had a lot of that, a lot of issues with that, and alcoholism. And like I said, he would be super sweet and nice, but as soon as the jack pops up and he's had too much to drink, he turns into this crazy, dripping black monster. So, but yeah, luckily here, the widows are starting to do their job finally, and start relieving me of the pain I was going through in this particular relationship. So this here is a painting. Of course, you can tell it's a German Shepherd and a clock, and it's like an All Dogs Go to Heaven painting of some sort. And you can see the dog is in space, floating in space. This is kind of about a misplaced dog. It was the dog that belonged to my ex, the one that I just talked about in the last 4 or 5 paintings. I think it was 5, or however many, 6, whatever. However many paintings it was. We're talking about his dog now. He had this wonderful dog named Stella, and she was a German Shepherd, solid tan German Shepherd, and she's very misplaced because he eventually became homeless. We eventually ended the relationship, which was great. He became homeless. I was still his friend, of course. I'd helped him out. I would bring him joints. I would bring him food. I'd give him money. I'd find him on the bridge by where the most of the homeless people hang out downtown. And I acquired his dog. His dog is now my dog, and she's getting old, and she had some puppies. I don't know why he never fixed his dog, but she had some puppies, 2 puppies, and I kept one and he kept one. Well, now I have these 3 big dogs. So she, like I said, she was a German Shepherd, and an American Fencer got to her, which was a Husky. American Fencer got through the fence. Anyways, retarded joke. Which was a Husky. So now I have these 3 beautiful dogs that I acquired from this relationship. They are my fur babies. I love them dearly, and I feel bad that I have his dog, but he couldn't care for her anymore, and she's been one of the best dogs I've ever had. One of which I'd have to say every dog is the best dog because I loved all my dogs. But yeah, she's getting up in the years now. She's probably about 8 or 9 years old, and for a German Shepherd, that's a pretty old dog, and I hope she's around for a lot more years. But yeah, this painting was inspired by his dog, and one of the best parts of our relationship was that dog. His dog actually liked me more than it liked him. We went to the park once, and and he was mad. We were arguing about something. We let the dogs out, and his dog followed me and not him. So she was pretty much my dog, right? I mean, and he was mad. Why do you make my dog follow you? I didn't. She chose to follow me, dude. So I guess the dog is at the home that it needs to be at.